See, now you
It timed out. That's
now.
exactly what it
Are
did.
you streaming to the studio?
I'm waiting for the blue line to go across now. Redirecting.
Or you
All right,
are
it took me to
live
my
now?
page with the commercial. Now the studio here.
Yeah, you're live.
I see us on there. And
You're
am
live.
I
It opened
live
up a
now?
different window.
I'm live now.
Yep,
All right.
yep. You are live. It opened up a different window.
Wow. All right. Well,
That's what
whatever
it
the
did.
hell. Anyway, welcome to Sunday night
Yeah.
with those guys. Got to excuse us. I thought YouTube and Zoom were acting friendly, but they seem to want to screw you around in the long run. Yeah, because it says end stream with with the Tube Buddy logo over it, like you said. Remember? But don't worry about it. I can
Mm-hmm.
still click on the end stream. So anyway, don't sweat it. Welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys, episode or live stream number 94. Tonight's topic: one of the world's largest drone, and Tesla engineer leaves Tesla and all that money to go work for Zipline. Anyway, what's up, Herman?
Same old
You
thing,
know
man.
what? Tom
Just,
won't have the same invite. I got to
why
resend
doesn't he?
him
He should
because I
have the
just,
same invite.
huh?
It's the same invite, same show.
I'm going to send him one anyway, just in case.
You got to remember, it's coming into Zoom, not into YouTube.
Yeah, but it shut down the prior stream and created a new stream key. I had to
It
do all of
doesn't.
that over.
It doesn't matter. He's coming into Zoom, not into to
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah. That's right. That's right. Well, all right. Anyway, what's up?
Logan Carpenter, what's up, man? Yo, my thing here is in a whole disarray here. I don't know.
What do you mean? What's up, Welsh Rob? How are you, Logan Carpenter? Sorry, we were having a little, well, I was having a little mishap. Trying to get used to streaming the way we're supposed to, the way we were before they started screwing things up. Oh, and Herman, remember I was saying that Zoom wasn't taking any payments from me?
Yes.
Well, I got the first one. I don't know if I should be saying this because I've got the first, they charged me this month, yesterday. And I've been going maybe about a month and a half without them charging me. And they're still allowing me to stream. So here comes Tom now. Okay. How are you, Welsh Rob? Hope all is well. Logan Carpenter, hope all is well with you also. How are you guys? Let us know how your weekend was, how your
Hey there,
week
Tom.
was, etc.
How's it going there, Tom? Oh,
Tom's good. Tom's just muted.
But yeah, Lawrence, I just been here. I did a few things. I've been on the go, still having problems with this other car, but
Good evening, gentlemen.
How are you, Tom?
right now.
Well,
Good.
that thing
Damn.
that you're going through with the car, when you told me the antifreeze was leaked all under the car while it was parked, I'm like, wow. I thought we had our
Ouch.
version of
Ouch.
Jacks out here.
Well, I don't understand how you take the car to do some work, you do the work on the car, you get the car back, and there's no coolant in the car at all. Then when I put coolant in the car, the coolant leaks out of the car. You get the car back, you tell me it was a hose problem. You give me the car comes back, the coolant leaks out of the car, you telling me now it was the gasket and the hose, and then it was this, and then it was that. And I'm like, well, if you had
Hey,
the
what's
car
up,
working on
Roger?
it,
How are you?
how did all of this and that show
Hey,
up
Roger.
after you fixed it?
Yeah. That's a little messed up, considering it didn't have a hose problem when he took it to him. you know? What's going on, Tom?
Another day in paradise.
Yeah, I hear you. I kind of feel the same way. I'm
Wow,
slowly getting
Roger, how's it going?
I'm slowly getting ready for the snow because I don't
Yeah.
think I'll be doing a whole lot of snowing. I'm shoveling because my neighbor has
Be careful,
snow
be
blower
careful,
next
be
door.
careful. So do I.
Well, we don't
But
have
it's
one.
still
I've been
an ordeal.
I've been bucking for one for a couple of years now, and I was pretty much told it ain't happening. So
Well,
my neighbor's like, "Yo, I got you. Don't worry about it." And I'm like, "Dude, I appreciate it, but if you keep doing it, they'll never buy one."
that's part of the problem. We don't have it as bad as Roger, 17 below, huh? Ouch.
What's good, Logan Carpenter? How are you, sir?
Wow.
I hope all is well. Anyway, I hope all is well with everyone out there. Um, it's
We're looking at 10 to 16 inches coming towards us here
dude.
in the New York
You know what's
City area.
funny? And now
So
correct me if I'm wrong. They claim for every inch it creates 1 foot of drift.
Well, the problem is we're getting hit with those high
Hey,
winds
Bill.
also. So, yep, that's a problem. Just because you own an SUV does not mean you know how to drive one in this type
Listen,
of weather. So,
I have the perfect
please,
example.
please,
just gun it.
keep yourself in a
Slow the
parking
hell
lot.
down.
The best thing to do when you get some new snow,
Hey, show.
find yourself a big empty parking lot, and don't inflict the harm on us. Okay.
Well, it goes to show for all of you SUV drivers that are new to SUVs, what can happen. I have the perfect example. My brother had brought one, and he came from driving a car. He's like, "Oh, check this out! Put in 4-wheel drive. I can go over this. I can go over that." Well, after about 3 days of riding around in the snow, he called us to say that he's coming over. We noticed when he came, he took the train. Well, it happened that him not being used to the weight of an SUV, coming up to a stoplight, and it was, you know how it switches from yellow, it goes from green to yellow, and he went to brake and locked up all the wheels and hit somebody's house. They jumped the curb, all of that 4-wheel drive and everything, but he still hit the house because
Well,
he wasn't used to the weight of it. You can't stop it as quick as you stop a car.
JSK, how are you? Yeah, well,
ASK.
that's a good point. I mean, so that's an accident. You must maintain liability insurance, property damage, all that. You can pay for it in the long
Mm-hmm.
run. You're going to pay for it as long as you have
Yes.
insurance.
Yes,
That's the
you're
sad
right.
part about it. But how many SUVs are sold out there? Now get this: a large
And crossovers.
percentage. Well, most of them are okay, but most SUVs sold out there today are front-wheel drive vehicles.
I know.
They're not all-wheel drive vehicles, and all-wheel drive vehicles are not 4x4s either. So there's this misconception. Now, a 4-wheel drive vehicle, if you're not careful with it, you can easily flip it. So confine yourself to a parking lot. Learn how the vehicle reacts when it doesn't have any traction. Okay, so you get a feel for it.
And you know what? It's funny.
Number one thing, always go out there, get that feel for it. Even if you've been doing it a long time, that first snow, just get a little feel for that.
Well, like you
gas
said,
end
a
slipping
lot
out
of
on you.
them are not true 4-wheel drive because we were flying on the beach and a guy got stuck in the sand and he was laughing at some people that were stuck in the sand and he go, "Rrr," and his mistake was he slowed down. And when he slowed down,
Well,
he started digging them front tires, and by the time he stopped, the belly of the Jeep was in the sand.
the big problem you have though is an abrupt anything. First of all, any abrupt movement in a situation where you don't have traction, it can be deadly, right? But if you cut that wheel real hard, you're going to flip the vehicle. It'll go ass on end over. So that's what you got to.
You remember?
Besides digging
You
yourself
remember
into
the
a snowbank.
Suzuki Jeeps? They were flipmobiles. People were turning corners.
Well, that's because the center of gravity was.
Yeah,
the center of gravity was way too high, and the track was too small. But the track on that vehicle was way too small
Yeah.
Okay. And then you had a high center of gravity in it. So
That's-
yeah.
But
What'd you say, Herman?
they're great
that-
off-road vehicles, though.
well, it should have failed on the drawing board, Herman. It
No,
really should
but
have,
they
right?
are great off-road vehicles if you know how to drive it.
It's like just
Because
like
of the torque that they have for such a little vehicle.
it's just like where are we going to put the gas tank on a Pinto? Oh, I think it
Right.
fits right here. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah,
You know, it's
exactly.
like, hey, that should have failed on the
It
drawing
had paper
board.
walls, doors. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But you know what,
But-
though, Lawrence, seriously, I've been through from having the Cadillac to having the the Volkswagen to having a Ford and having the another General Motors or the Cadillac for the
Right.
SUV.
Right.
And I've never had a problem. You know why? And I take my hat off to driver's ed because they teach you a lot of different things. Like you know that certain ways that a vehicle is going to behave when you start trying to push it in slow. You don't do that. That's the one thing you don't want to do. You can drive once the ground has been paved and the snow's been cleared and solid and everything is good. You can drive. But once you got that snow on the ground underneath those wheels, you got to take it easy. I don't care what vehicle you're in.
No.
SUV, car, doesn't matter because
Hey, Dave Ennis.
the lower your car is, now you can start scooping snow.
Well, the other thing,
Go
all
on.
your movements have to be smooth. Okay. When you're driving in this kind of
Right.
weather.
Nothing abrupt, like you said.
Yeah.
Because a quick turn like this doesn't mean
Any
you're gonna
quick
turn.
movement, a quick braking movement. Okay.
Yeah. Hit black ice,
You lose.
anything.
You lose traction right away.
It's
okay?
true. Welsh
you gotta
Rock
learn-
says 99% of SUV drivers have only been on flat fields. You think about it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And usually I think the larger the vehicle is, the smaller the woman driving it. So
Uh-oh.
that's usually the way it works, I think. Okay. The views and opinions. Okay. But look, one of the things, and the reason, I wasn't joking about going to find an open parking lot someplace. And remember, open parking lots
Explicit.
usually come with concrete stanchions someplace. So be careful. But find yourself an open parking lot because you wanna learn how to deal with a skid. You want to know how your vehicle reacts.
Right.
Okay, where do you get that first feel? There's always a tell. There's always a tell when you're going to skid out. Can you recognize it? Can you react to it?
Right.
And when you react to it, what do you do? And people, of course, instinctively react the wrong way and turn the wheel the wrong way instead of in the direction of the skid because they're trying to avoid that direction.
Right.
But they've lost the traction to do that. So, get out in a parking lot, go do some donuts. Okay. It's fun. First off, it's fun, but you get a feel for the car. You get that muscle memory of how it's going to react. Anti-lock brakes. Okay. They're there for a reason now. You can defeat them easily and screw yourself up.
Right.
By feathering brakes. The older the driver you are, the more likely you are to make that mistake. Okay. Because we predate anti-lock braking.
Jackson.
And our idea of anti-lock braking back in the day was feathering your brake pedal. But if you do that now, you'll defeat anti-lock braking and she'll lock up on you. So, that's something else. And you always have to, your speed, we tend to be a bit aggressive here in New York City. But
really,
your speed has to be based on your traction, okay? Not how soon you got to get someplace.
Hold on a second, Tom. No, seriously,
Nice,
honestly, most New Yorkers, I do not believe that about. But only when it does snow or rain.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
When they were building the big
click
building
that like button, please, guys.
the John Jay College in the city, I was on that job, and I was asked to work the temporary heat and lighting because at night over there, They have to keep the steel of the building warm, so that way that the insulate the spray that they spray the fireproofing,
Yeah.
it's gonna adhere to the steel, and if it's cold, it won't stick to it. So they have to keep those big heaters going at night to keep it warm, and they need an electrician on there just in case that breaker
Right.
flips, because no one's allowed to touch it but an
It's a union
electrician.
job. It's a union job, dude. We understand.
Well, if something happens, somebody's got to fix it, right? Well, anyhow,
that's true.
Yeah.
so I was asked to do it during the snowstorms. So when the guy would come and relieve me, and I'd go home, a whole bunch of snow on the West Side Highway, and I'm taking my time, 4-wheel drive, going down the West Side Highway, and all this snow coming down. Some guy is flying past me. Because they have SUVs, they think that I can go 190 miles an hour. It's going to keep me on the road.
No covered road.
You always find somebody stuck or off on the side because they hit the guardrail or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's nowhere it said anti-skid car on this thing. No, it didn't say that anywhere when you bought it.
Listen, the whole point is, if you're driving out there, family in your car or not, be careful. Seriously. East Coast, northern East Coast is getting hit. Jackson RC
point.
says that it's snowing over there. Show lives in Ohio. It's been snowing there.
Sure.
So we know it's coming. We know New York. And there's only one person I know in New York City that's ecstatic that it's snowing. And that's Invincible Storm, Anthony Charles. He probably going to lose sleep tonight, or he'll be out in it already.
You know what, Lawrence?
He's all charged up. You know, Anthony Charles is all charged up, got his batteries ready, and we will see snow pictures in the morning.
But seriously, Prospect Park is going to look nice with that snow, Lawrence.
Yeah, with it nice and fresh. You're right about that. With the lighting as well through the park along the paths.
And then the big
that would make a great shot, to be honest. Only problem is,
you got to get out there for it.
Now that I just said 800 people over there.
You got to get out there for it. That's the only problem.
Hey, Bob Casey.
Not 800 people over there.
Yeah, well, you have a little bit of congestion. We know who they are.
Yeah,
but there'll be plenty of shots over the next few days.
But
almost anything.
So if you want to armchair it, no problem. Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah, you're right, Herman. I didn't think about that. Most of the parks and everything will look really, really nice.
Almost any park anywhere.
Yeah. Especially if it's well lit at night and it's snowing. You don't have to worry about overexposure.
If there's snow on the tree.
Hey, Herman, you don't have to worry about overexposure.
At night, yeah, you don't have to worry about
that. Yeah.
You guys break out those ND 32s and 64s if you're getting those daytime shots out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At least a 32 ND 32 filter. But anyway, the story we were going to start with, Tom, I was telling Herman, was the company Zipline. We have been talking about Zipline for close to a year almost, and the progress. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but the company Zipline has been flying successfully drone deliveries since 2017. So I don't know if you were flying or where you were at that time, but Zipline, and the reason I'm doing this story is because Zipline snags Tesla top engineer to work on medical drone delivery. Now, Zipline, we know, is based out of Africa or in that region of the world, and they've been doing very, very successful with their medical drone deliveries. And what I like about Zipline is they're not trying to branch out into other things. They want to be a specific medical drone delivery company, and that's what they've stuck with. Well, this guy at Tesla's engineering, his name is Joseph Mardell. Okay, he was head of engineering at Tesla, and this gentleman actually created the heat pump system for the Model Y car. I'm not familiar with that particular car, but apparently they were having some issues with the heat pump system with this particular car, and he helped resolve that issue. And he's actually switching from Tesla, which I'm sure is paying quite well, to go to Zipline, which sounds like a lot more fun. Now, also in his ventures, he's also developed a thermal HVAC system for the early model Teslas, the Model X's and the Model 3s. So he's no dummy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was actually in the process of working and and trying to help develop while at Tesla before he left this Hyperloop train. Everyone's into this Hyperloop traveling where you're supposed to be able to get from New York to California in some incredible time, moving as fast as an atom. Well, not that fast. I'm just bullshitting, but but you get the gist of it. And this guy goes to say, Joseph goes to say, after 10 wonderful years at Tesla, I'm super excited to start my next chapter as head of engineering at Zipline, working with a team of talented and committed engineers. Now, for you guys that do listen to our stories and do remember us mentioning Zipline, Zipline is here in the United States trying to show us how it's done. And like I said, they've been doing it since 2017. They don't have a VTOL. Their drones, if you YouTube's Zipline, they use a catapult launch system. They use almost like an aircraft carrier retrieval system where they drop a hook, the hook catches in a line and it swings down, all of that. And they've been doing this for quite some time.
So Zipline as a company is located in San Francisco, by the way.
Get
the
out of
company
here.
itself. The company itself is a
Okay.
U.S. company.
Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well, they did so much work in South Africa.
Well, they did a
parts of
ton of work on the
Africa.
African continent because of first the need.
Right.
I
Yeah.
lectured on this
The
at
need and their
at North Shore
availability.
University Hospital.
What's that, Herman?
No, I was saying the need and the fact that the space, the infrastructure gave them the ability to test so much.
Yeah,
and get so much work done.
The significant fact is that brought Zipline into working on the African continent were the need, the terrain, and the lack of regulation in the area that would prevent them from flying. Okay. I gave a lecture on this actually to North Shore University Hospital with residents because of my job and how drones can be used in the medical field. And Zipline has been proving with a great level of success how this technology can aid those underserved areas, those areas where infrastructure is the biggest issue or lack thereof, right?
Yeah, lack of infrastructure. Basically.
Yeah, it would take you like in some of the case studies to get medical supplies from one location to another could take a matter of days. Okay, we take things for granted here, you know, but there it would take a matter of days. Now think about you have a situation where you have a patient that's hemorrhaging and needs blood product right away. They don't have days to wait, right? You can launch something and have something on site within 30 to 45 minutes, you know, from a hub location that can actually save that person's life.
And actuality, Tom, not to cut you off, but I believe when they first did it, one of the places that they went to, there was actually two, types of transportation that was necessary to get to the area and where they were going to.
That was, I believe, first was like a Land Rover and the second was a water buffalo, right? To get
I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that one of them was by water travel that they did have.
Yeah, but you know, see, and that's company was very smart for looking at this void that existed and how the technology, solutioning. That's basically what it was. The ability to put this up, have a great level of success, and now being able, like you said, Lawrence, bringing it back here into the country, okay, where there's nothing but regulation, right?
Mhm.
And figuring out how does it fit in the airspace.
And
you've already proven value, right? You've already proven benefit to mankind with this operation. Now, how do you knit it into the regulations that exist in so many other places now?
This is back to like the question like I had asked on Wednesday about, the United States having to have some of this going on here eventually and here and now, because the United States can't afford to lose in this air mobility.
Right. When we did the story about the United States needs to step their game up. And I think they're doing quite well as far as getting into the industry, trying to make sure our students, hey, Newfound Drone, trying to make sure our kids understand this technology and the importance of it.
Well, this gentleman that you mentioned, with Zipline, back in 2019 being valued at what, $1.2 billion, this is a playground for him to come into and to develop new things with Zipline. We're still in the infant stage here in the United States, and nothing's gotten off.
I'd like to also mention that since we've been talking about Zipline, they have been doing their thing. Oh, sorry for banging on the table. They
got to play the
continuously growing and expanding, and the fact that they actually had the opportunity to outsource and test their stuff abroad, and then bring it back home and say, look, this is our record from 2017 to present day. We've been doing it, and we've been doing it right. And we're not, I don't know what their casualties are, or how everyone may have a mishap or whatever, but apparently it's so infinitesimal that people just don't give a damn. So they're saying right now, every 5 minutes, somewhere in the world, someone's getting a Zipline delivery. Medically, we're talking anything from blood.
600 deliveries a day for 4 years. Yeah, it's pretty significant. I mean, they are, by the way, not a. I do not believe they're publicly traded yet, and I don't know what.
I don't think
if they have any plans to go with an IPO.
Well, they're also working right now with stuff in North Carolina and getting things working here in the United States, like you mentioned. But some of those flights that they're doing over there are actually the distance of like 32 miles and stuff like that. So,
sure, you can post a link to your group, Newfound. I'm sorry, I'm in other windows. What's up, Drone Junkie? How are you? But I just wanted to point out one more thing. Joseph Mardell leaving Tesla after 10 years. I'm sure, and he's made a lot of contributions to Tesla. I'm sure with a staff of 60 plus employees. Oh, he had led he led a team of 60 plus employees at Tesla. The skies should be the limit as far as what he should be able to do with Zipline. And once again, I applaud Zipline for acquiring this gentleman, because it shows they're serious.
Well,
I mean, it's like snatching. It's like
it's talent. It's a talent pool out there.
Right.
I mean,
and guys want to go on and broaden their horizon and get and do other things.
Exactly.
Expand, their experience and take it on other things. Like we talked about
complementary technologies, gentlemen.
Right, Romeo Dersher, he left DJI to go on with that open.
Time to fly.
About and
absolutely,
doing other things.
Let me see. Somebody said something about a Time to Fly had a video, master screw props and crash of P4P. As if it's your personal video, I can show it. If it's someone else's video that you are referring to, we might have a problem because of copyright. See, I can ask you for permission to show the video, and if they argue anything, I can say watch the video over. He gave me permission to do it. You know what I'm saying? But shorts
What
after
is
I'm
the
just
video about?
pulling this up. Oh, this is after. Oh, wow. I need a little bit of backstory. Honestly, I'm looking at the video right now, but I need a little bit of backstory. What Time to Fly wants me to show is hold on, this video right here. Give me a second. Someone who used master screw air screws, which are supposed to be top balance props, and this is what
Stevie,
happened.
Stevie, Capture Life Connections just did a video on that. But yes, I know he's going back to do another video. I know 51 Drones did a video. There's
Master air
several out
screw,
there.
but look at this poor
And
panel.
yeah.
This is
So there's, if you notice, there also looks to be like a scratch or scrape above, right on the arms also,
That's a
which
crack.
is indicative
that
of.
means the props are that flexible.
No, that's a crack, bro.
No, this is a
No.
crack here, but
No. I know. I saw
he's saying
there was
at the
another
end
one
of the props.
on Phantom Pilots, the forum Phantom Pilots. There was another one posted where there were actually marks on 3 of the arms. One arm was cracked, but I don't know if it was this one.
The props are touching.
Joe says, "Look away, Herman."
Yeah,
he said, "Look away, Herman. Don't look
away,
at
Herman. Look away."
Oh, he was testing props in front of the house about 50 feet up. Wow.
Yeah, and it. Oh, there was one. Another one I saw, and I believe the one with the scrapes along the
Skipper.
the top of the arm sections was actually a Phantom 4 Pro RTK. So if you really want to cry,
wow,
okay, that's a nice price tag.
It's a nice price tag if any drone goes down, but RTKs bring it up a couple of thousand more.
You know,
a few grand more.
Phantom 4 Pros you can get for one RTK setup.
Really?
You can have your own little Air Force.
Really?
Are you serious?
Really?
What is it now? 8? I think it's $8,000.
$8,000 for the Phantom 4 Pro RTK system.
Yes, because you get the ground station set up and everything.
Oh, see, I didn't know that they were offering the grounds. That sounds tasty.
I believe the ground station is extra. I believe the ground station is like 26 or 2,700, but I could be wrong. I forget how they're bundled. But it's a sad day when you see one of those on the ground.
Thanks, Skipper. Actually, tomorrow morning, I will actually be launching a video with that Flywoo there, which, by the way, is out of action until I can get a camera mount for it. Did a power dive straight into the ground, practicing through these 2 trees that were maybe about 10 feet tall, and there's a little gap under. So Justin, Drone Evolution, and I were practicing flying through, power looping through, and then hitting the gap, trying to do it continuously. Well, I didn't.
Somebody have a fire alarm going?
Oh no. Hey, can you turn that down some? Tom's a fireman. He's like, "Is that a fire alarm?" Sorry, Tom. You see Tom went on alert. His ears went, yeah. I'm sorry about that, Tom. But anyway, we were practicing power loops, and I didn't get high enough. I got high enough to clear the tree, but by the time I got orientation, looking at the ground coming up, the ground just kept coming. So apparently I screwed up, but it just needs a camera mount. But tomorrow I have a video flying on the beach with that Flywoo there, that Mr. Croc Flywoo. And thanks for watching. El Smeghead, how are you, senor? What's going on? El Smeghead, all the way from Australia. Recovery 1 drone, 5 alarm chili. Dude, I used to make chili hot like that. I can't anymore. I used to make my own hot sauce. I can't anymore. The doctor told me no go.
By the way,
No
quick
good.
squirrel, quick squirrel. Great YouTube series to follow called The Hot Ones.
The
It's
what?
basically, it's called The Hot Ones. It's a foodie show. Okay.
Is it?
And it's 10 hot sauces laid out. There's a celebrity, there's a host, and the host, they both do, it goes up
I
in
watched
Scoville
that.
units.
I
It
watched
goes
that
up
with
in
my
Scoville
wife, I
units
believe.
but Matthew McConaughey, I mean, some funny, freaking funny episodes, man, where they're chugging the milk. Okay.
Uh-huh.
They're going from where it's like 1800 Scoville units, like ketchup is hotter than that, going up to 2 million Scoville units on the
Yeah.
last one, and then they put like a dab on the last one, and it's like 10 chicken wings, and the celebrity, the
Herman, and
host is
those be
basically
running.
it's an
Running.
interview show, but it's
Oh, I
pretty funny.
know.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
Trust
funny.
me, I've seen some of them. I watched when they
Yeah.
did. I told you once when they did that. When they were doing that 8-hour live stream to raise money for St.
Oh,
Jude,
Smeghead, how are you, bro?
and
Yes.
they had the guy from Korea come from EVGA, and
Mm-hmm.
they did the one chip challenge, and he just thought it was no big deal, and he just put the whole chip in his mouth, and he was like, he had a bottle of vitamin water, and he was sitting there and he was chewing it up, and he was like, he opened it up, he took a sip, he's like, oh my god, oh my god, and he kept sipping it and saying, oh my god, and he goes, why can't I stop drinking? Oh my god. he was dying.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been advised against by my doctor not to make my own hot sauce anymore. And we'll get back on that. But Tom, your story, the world's biggest drone.
Yeah, baby.
I had
You're
to do
gonna
some
go
research.
big.
I had to do some research, and it is actually the world's biggest drone. So if you want to go into the story, I have a video queued up that I can bring up a few seconds while you're talking.
So
And
one of the most expensive things that's facing the globalization of connectivity is getting satellites up at a reasonable cost, right?
Mhm.
Well, that's because the amount of rocket propellant and systems you have in place, and the lack of recovery of some of those elements returning. They've looked at launching satellites via a drone. So enter a higher altitude, deploy the payload package, which is a rocket booster and
Yep.
a satellite, and get it into space at a reasonable cost, not just at a reasonable cost,
but
but in
reusable.
a reasonable time frame. And that's a
Yes.
huge one. If
It,
you're a company, think of a company like SiriusXM with their satellites. They have to have levels of redundancy in place because of the time it takes to service a satellite, repair a satellite, replace a satellite. All those things have to be taken into consideration. This
right.
kind of shortens that window significantly and makes it a lot easier
Now,
to get a package into space. He said package, sorry.
in an
Get something into
emergency,
space as quickly as
but
possible.
but
Well,
Tom,
that is the verbiage that they use as well. It's talking about getting the package into space, but they're talking about this is for the guy who already has that workflow in
the
space
payload
that
system.
needs their work, their assistance, and has to get it there within the next 2 weeks or so.
Well, look at the situation you have with scheduling. Okay, if you want to go SpaceX,
Yeah,
you got to
gotta
schedule
get on that schedule.
to get in there, right?
Yeah.
Now this thing can take off from any major airport.
Right.
Okay,
And what's
so
the turnaround time,
not
Tom?
only do you have a situation where you have only a couple of spaceports available in the country here or in the world at large, right? This thing can make it so much easier, okay, for these companies to to deploy their product because it can be regionalized.
And she can
These
take
things
off
can
from
take off from a
Florida.
major airport. So you can have one in the Northeast, you can have one in the Southwest, you can have wherever you need it, it can be
Hey,
there.
global drones.
Well,
Well,
Tom,
Tom,
they were saying they would like to be within 24 hours reach of their customer, but
Of their
they
customer, sure.
actually can take off from a short runway. And
Yes.
this what I was liking about this is like it's a 3-stage system where this thing will take off, get to its altitude that it needs to get to, launch the second stage rocket into its launch and then return. And they're working on this thing being 100% reusable, because at this
Yeah,
point
big
it's not
difference, right?
100% reusable.
No,
What's
the
up,
booster is
Stevie?
usually not recovered.
Well,
Okay.
if I recall, isn't the turnaround time, reusable time of this particular drone 180 minutes or something?
Yeah.
I heard.
Recovery time.
Oh,
Recovery time.
recovery's
Okay.
180.
So now think about this. This is the other thing you don't take into consideration is the fact that, like you said, Herman, not all of conventional means
Hey,
rocket-based
Mike Drennan.
launches are recoverable. Well, that begs another question. Your flight path has to be determined by that fact.
Mhm.
So you must have a trajectory that is going to wind up over a body of water, so that falling item, okay, does not cause harm, because then your stock prices definitely go down. So what happens with this alternative is this is not tied to that same, because there is no destructive recovery process. Okay.
Right.
This is a controlled recovery and reuse.
Mhm.
And that in itself, yeah, the price tag initially is going to be much higher. Okay, but your payback period is going to be much shorter.
But you think about this, in the event of an emergency right now, if there was a tragedy with this drone operating, if there was a tragedy in the space station, they could get a satellite with help going up a lot faster than it takes to launch a
Well,
rocket.
no. Now this, it depends on the type of payload, and I don't know that this at this
Well,
point,
that's
this is
true.
more for satellite
That is my
delivery purposes.
speculation.
Satellite delivery purposes.
Yes, but that
Okay,
would be my
but
speculation.
that doesn't mean that this doesn't grow
Mhm.
past that, right? Okay.
I must say that was my
the
own
other
personal
thing
opinion.
is, yeah. Well, here's what I would put to you. Think about one other aspect of this. Say that you do have a disaster-based situation over some
Yes.
area, and you need additional communication capability in that region, okay, to mitigate and remediate the situation. You could quickly launch some stationary satellites quickly to meet that need with a device like this. Okay.
Okay, maybe I'm dreaming for them a little faster than they're ready, but like you
No,
said,
but look,
I could see the
SpaceX,
possibilities of that.
right? SpaceX addressed that, right? NASA first off didn't have the funding and couldn't get product up in the sky as quickly as a private venture could, and SpaceX has proven how they can broach that connection between the private sector and NASA to where they can deliver those payloads.
Hey, Ray
quickly.
Kelly, congrats, Skipper. What's good, Ray Kelly? Hope all is well. And thanks for coming in the Sunday nights with those guys. I want to see some more stuff on this drone, because the ramifications
I just like the look of
this
it.
bird.
I mean, look at that nose view.
Yeah, I just happen to have it queued up again.
Funny. They actually did do this on a computer. They put it together on a computer at first, and then they actually made it come to life.
Well, that's
that's how everything's
that's
designed
actually
now.
who this guy is.
The kid I shouldn't say the kid, but the guy The gentleman in the video is
The
guy
concept in his head. Yeah.
This is
yeah,
the gentleman
this gentleman,
who designed
that
it.
gentleman right there. Yeah.
Yes, this
Yeah.
is it, and I kudos to him because whether it carries anything or not, it still looks badass. I'm sorry, it really does, and I I'm not one for. Well, I
What's his
guess I
name?
am. I used to
Jay
put planes and stuff
Stylus?
together, but
What's
look at
his
this
name, I
thing.
believe?
Good looking aircraft, by the way. Good
Yes,
looking aircraft.
yes,
Yes.
and if it could be any more aerodynamic, it would be floating on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So there's once again, that's him. He actually goes in the video. That's why I posted the video so you guys could watch it on your own. But he goes to show that he says that to actually see it go from paper to real life, he didn't realize how big this thing would be when he designed it. Even though he had the measurements and stuff down, now seeing it in person, he
Yeah.
it's like seeing your dream. Someone designs into designing cars and stuff like that, and all of a sudden you get the chance to design a car.
Right.
So 5-star
Yeah.
General Ray Kelly. Okay, it is sleek. I put the link here. I think this is the link right here, so you can actually hear the story in the background. But it looks like they'll be doing a few things
Well, they got
with
something
it.
going on down in Jacksonville, Florida. So
Stevie, what's good, man? You at home or you out with the family? I could have
He
sent you an
said,
invite, but
I don't know. I saw a White Castles and a toilet bowl
yeah, he
emoji.
said he had White Castles, and El Smeghead said if he ate buffalo wings, he would be suffering from something. And I said, no, you wouldn't. It would be your toilet suffering. But I try to keep up with the chat as well.
And you got to have White Castles at least once a month to clean out your system. They're that high colonic, man.
You know what? Then what do you call once
you to have to clean
because when we went out to the clubs, back when we were going to clubs,
Oh, they
the
taste
only
the best
thing that
at
was
4:30 in
White
the morning.
Castle.
They taste the best at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh,
now down south,
until you get home and start the bubble gut.
When I was down in Huntsville area, Crystal Burgers, the same thing as White Castles. I mean,
Crystal Burgers,
except you wouldn't get fries on the side. You'd get corn fritters. Okay. So that would mean that actually was evil.
Look at this. See, we mentioned Anthony Charles. Stevie is not coming on tonight because he's getting ready for the snow. Well, I hope you get some good shots. I know Anthony Charles is giddy with joy.
Getting ready in the garage now, Stevie.
The show says White Castle is the bomb, literally. Now I'm craving some. You know what? Just to go squirrel for a millisecond, I came to find out it's the onions because my friend proved it to me.
Without a doubt.
He said it's the onions. If you get anything from White Castle with onions on it, you're going to get the bubble gut. That's all I'm going to say. Tested and proved. Stevie's in the garage now with the car warming up, revving the engine, waiting for the snow. The first snowflake he sees, he's peeling out like the Batmobile. With his camera crew. Anyway,
Stevie, just make sure the garage door is open, okay?
Yeah, that's true. Well, Ray Kelly,
let me tell you,
you need to get one, even if you haven't had at least one to bring that flavor.
Let's see, the best White Castles in the New York area. I would have to say that's a toss-up. Well, no, I'm going to have to give it to the one adjacent to Queens Center Mall on Queens Boulevard.
Oh, dude.
The other one I would say would be Webster Avenue.
Grease.
No. You know, one thing about White Castles. Let me tell you something about White Castles.
They do clean that grill.
White Castles has some of the best people working for them. I mean, polite. Okay. Come on, man. I've been eating, doing some drive-through over the last 10 months.
Right.
Very courteous. Very courteous. The order's always right. It's hard to screw that up, though. Give me that. But they just improved their fries. Okay. Because now they're double frying them. And if you're a fry aficionado, that's how you make fries. Okay.
Sounds good, Global.
Got to
Herman,
have
what
that
video card did
that
you
little
upgrade?
crunchiness on the
I
outside.
haven't.
Recovery One wants to know what video card did you upgrade? We still have one more story, but we can
Skipper Drones, yeah,
stretch
Crystal
it out.
Burgers, man.
I'm
Funny place, bro.
well. I still have the what the well I did the 1060 and I have a couple of cards. I have a 3080 and a 3070.
Yeah, see, it must be nice to
But
have those. But
give me
huh?
a second. I'll be right back. I gotta check the door.
Yeah, not a problem. Go ahead. Just go ahead and mute. Anyway,
So you see, Ray Kelly says Chick-fil-A has the best chicken, though, and awesome customer service. You know what I find funny with Chick-fil-A is the following. Their following. The people line up for days when a new place opens up because I believe, and it's not an urban myth, when on opening day, the first X number of customers get a gift card for an entire year. Okay, they could go every day and get something. It's out in Nevada, in Henderson, Nevada, and there was a new one opening up. And actually, for the first 4 months it was open, they had local police directing traffic. That's how many customers there were lining up.
wow.
So Chick-fil-A
crazy.
has a following. In-N-Out Burger is another place with a big following.
I know I sent this story to you a little late, Tom, but two of the stories that I sent previously, we had actually did already, and I was like, wait, you know how you have deja vu, and you're like, did we? And I just said, all right, I'll take
Recycling, bro.
right.
That's all it is. It's
The
recycling.
very last one I sent you on, and I thought this would be a great.
Yeah, we
topic
talked
to
about
end
this.
the night.
In fact, this was also a discussion about a gentleman who had recently got a significant job. Actually, his company got a significant boost because of the selection of the FAA, and he happened to be on the drone committee. So,
Right. So for those of you who want to know what we're talking about, it has to do with the FAA, remote ID, and why they chose to go broadcast over network. Now, this particular story doesn't go into it in as much detail, but this story goes into saying the main reason that the FAA has picked broadcast is because to build a network infrastructure specifically for drones probably wouldn't be too cost effective and
it would take a pretty long time to get it done.
Exactly. Whereas by choosing broadcast over a network for the FAA to create remote ID, it can trickle down to the consumer. Now, Herman and I had a conversation about the network part of this before the stream briefly, and I came to the conclusion the FAA right now is saying that we're going with broadcast for remote ID for the prosumer and down. But guess where the network part comes in? Drone delivery. Because you have drone delivery companies that will have to have their own network to fly their own systems.
It's to be seen whether they would. Yes and no. It's got to be, it's got to be realized. I mean, I see where you're going with it, but it's got to be realized.
But the people who have the deep pockets to build these infrastructures from point A to point B are the larger companies like Tesla and DHL or UPS. These guys establish a network for their drones.
Well, they have to build in. They have to build these systems to standards. Okay.
Yes,
if a UPS wants to have their own logistics system to direct their flights, that system has to be able to talk and interface with that UTM environment for deconfliction purposes, right?
Well,
so that's got to be a key.
You're right, but Tom, this is why UPS and even like Walmart elected to go with an airline that has already been certified airworthy so as to let them have
Oh yeah.
that aspect of it.
Now, it's
But
funny.
remember that broadcast
And uh-huh.
broadcast RID, remote ID, has a very, very minimal useful range.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, has some data limitations to it.
Exactly.
So, you know, yeah,
It does.
for the hobbyist, for the enthusiast,
Mm-hmm.
for the lower level commercial,
Right.
I think it serves the need.
Well, it also
Yeah.
goes to say in this article that 68% of the drone programs that were founded
Mm-hmm.
were found from the bottom up approach. And what they mean by that is usually when someone incorporated drone into the business, the
Mm-hmm.
guy as a hobbyist, and they actually have a chart here, not a flow chart. They actually have a chart here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can't bring it up any larger, but it shows individuals interested in drones or as a hobby introduce drones to that particular business, saying, you know, hey, like a police officer, they're out looking for a kid. A hobbyist, says, "Hey, I have a drone in my car. Okay, maybe we can find a kid this way." Well, they're saying in drone business
Mm-hmm.
that it was the average person, maybe or hobbyist, 46.5% that got people interested in drones in their jobs.
You know what's funny about that, Lawrence?
And the business started from the aviation department, which you would figure would want to introduce drones in the business. Go ahead, Herman. You see what I'm saying?
No, you're absolutely right, because like I said to you, flying at Calvert and other places along here, the fishing and gaming guy was asking me one day, what can I actually see from that thing? And he was looking at the screen and he was looking to see if I can see the guys fishing in the back of the park. You know, because he's walking, he has to go back there to see, you know, make sure everybody's
Check on them.
rules and, you know,
Yeah.
fishing and stuff like that. So he would, you know, wanted to know what I can actually see with it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny if you think some of the stories that we've done also throughout the last year and a half have to do with they were out looking for a kid and a drone hobbyist had a drone with FLIR on it
Right.
and was able to find the child. And then the local police station was like, well, hey, you know, how much
We
does
gotta
one of
get
those cost?
we gotta
You're
get
right.
me one of those
You're right,
Yes,
because
right,
fanging
right.
drones.
because if you remember Paul Murray, he was saying that how he used to you know, do a couple of things for the police department, and then when they got their own budget to get their own and do their own thing, they
Kick
stopped
Paul
calling.
to the curb.
Yeah.
Kick Paul to the curb. Oh, yeah, that's not right.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's interesting that now they're talking about all broadcasts, but I still see the network part of it as big industry going in and saying, well, since
Look,
you small fries can't afford this network, we
Okay.
can. And Tom, where I'm going with this is I'm UPS, okay, and I established a drone highway from a major warehouse from point A to point B. What? I'm getting the finger.
No, UPS doesn't establish that highway. The FAA establishes the
This is true.
highway,
They need
and
permission.
UPS drives along it. So take it, look at it this way. And here's the analogy that I'll use.
Okay.
Aviation started with the Wright brothers. Okay. Okay. Wait. I won't start that far back. Let's go a little further forward.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't start with IFR.
Mm-hmm.
You started with VFR.
Yes.
IFR didn't
Right.
even exist. The
The visual,
technology behind
right.
it didn't
Exactly.
exist. The vortex, the ATIS, all these things came in stages, pieces built upon each other. Okay, and that's what we're seeing here. These are things that are going to be built upon. The highways that are going to be built, I want them built by the FAA. I don't want individual companies competing for right of way, because that never usually works out well. I think this airspace needs to be regulated. It's just a fact of life, and otherwise you got to look up constantly. Okay, so it's a good thing somebody's regulating the airspace,
Well,
and
yeah,
that's how it should
you're right.
be handled, right?
You're right about that. Well, people are
Well,
going to
it's
be
just
look.
like, the same argument with drone laws, right? You,
Uh,
you want one thing you can go by. So at least if you know what it is, you can follow it.
right.
If we have
Right.
hundreds upon thousands of different municipalities all setting their own little drone laws, we got nothing but conflict.
But with that,
And we'll
Tom,
never be able to fly legally because we
right.
don't know what legal is.
Yeah, but with that, you have to have the FAA come in and say, this is it, this is that, and this is, I don't care what you think, and this is that. And
Yeah.
either you comply or you don't comply.
Yeah.
And any
Yeah.
local municipality, well,
Yeah.
however they
And
fit into whatever the FAA says, this is
I
our
would like
laws,
to.
you cannot create them, and this is that.
look, this is all going. This See, one thing that this is doing also is going to modernize manned aircraft systems also.
Mhm.
Okay. So realize the benefit is on both sides of the track. When
Recovery.
we only talk about unmanned, right? But the reality is integrating this environment into the current airspace requires the modernization of both sides of the fence.
Well, you
So
see,
we're not the only ones coming along for the ride.
true, but
If you remember, in by January of 2019, the FAA mandated every manned aircraft had to have ADSB, right? Had to.
this is true. That's true, and like recovery one drones just put. A lot of people that don't know this also. Just like Air Maps tweet about charging for takeoff and landings, we did a story
That was gonna
similar to
mention though.
that about how these app companies are and may be trying to consider charging you. Now,
So
if you
no,
want
no,
to
no,
fly
no, no. Okay.
legally, but
So
Tom, if you want to fly legally, and I own an app company that shows you airspace, it's your option to pay for it or go to a
I'm
free
not
one.
going to dispute that. What I'm going to say is the likelihood is that there will be commercial cost associated with operating,
Mhm.
okay, in the airspace. So,
Welcome back, Roger.
in order to fly into certain airports, uh, and in a lot of cases, a lot of airports, there is a cost associated with it. Okay,
Right.
it's your FBO cost, it's your landing and takeoff fees, it's your fueling fees. Sometimes fees are waived depending on whether you're buying fuel or not, right? Okay, so it's just like any other industry out there. On the commercial side of the fence, it will go to improve some systems because that's where some of the money, these airport access fees that are paid, that's where some of the money goes, is to maintain that infrastructure. So, will there be costs for commercial operations? Yeah, there probably will be. It's cost of doing business.
Yeah,
But
that's true. That's true.
if you're in business, then it's the cost of doing business.
Right.
Okay. You look for compensation when you go to file your taxes, to some degree. Don't look for too much though. But the thing is that you have to realize it's very, very unlikely that that's going to impact the enthusiast.
Mhm.
Okay. If you have to get clearance, say you photograph real estate,
Right.
okay, you're a
Mhm.
commercial pilot doing UAS pilot doing real estate, and you have to be insured, and maybe as a requirement of that insurance, yeah, you have to get the airspace clearance. Okay, that's a possible reality. We'll have to see. But I
Okay.
really don't see I really don't see them charging AMA pilot out at RC Field, $1.50 to take off, and to operate his aircraft
Hey,
for the next hour.
Tom,
I just don't see it.
I'm saying this
Imagine that.
over, I'm saying this over my shoulder, looking
Mm.
at the camera. We do know a certain airfield where they charge to come fly.
Look, we know they charge a membership, okay, but I'd be hard pressed to see them to keep somebody
No,
up
no,
that has an AMA, right?
Tom,
Yeah.
Tom, that one went over.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, not there. Yeah, not there. That's true. That's true.
I'm just saying. Oh, Roger wants to let everyone know Val cannot be on tonight, so he will be on in her place. All right, understandable. So for those of you who are looking for a live stream to go to after this one, Roger will be on.
You doing
And-
Velocidrone too, Roger?
Roger's not going to play no damn Velocidrone.
Roger's got a 26-hour schedule.
Hey, Stevie says, I saw your childhood picture, Herman, on Ken Herron's show this week. Who's that celebrity? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Ken Herron has a segment.
Throw it up there.
Go ahead,
Where is
Herman.
it?
Tell him about it.
Well, he did a thing where he was showing.
Give me a second. I got to pay the water bill.
Well, his co-host on the show had to guess whose picture that was. And he just showed some pictures of people who are in the drone community who sent in their childhood pictures to him. He actually sent me a picture of himself, and I sent him a picture of me. So
what am I waiting here to see? Come on, where is it?
I don't have the picture. I sent it.
Wait. You sent him a picture of you?
Yeah.
Where's that picture? That's the one we want to see right now.
I don't even know where to look for it at right now.
Oh, that sounds like an excuse, man. That sounds like an excuse.
This is when, Stevie, you're supposed to send me an email and I got a picture of Herman.
If you go to the show, we see it.
But if you watch,
I'll go and watch Ken's show anyway. But we have an audience here too, Herman.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah. I'm sure the ratings would go up, Herman, if you showed that picture.
And we could all say, "Hey, did you see Herman's baby
There it is,
pictures?"
guys. There he is, the one and only, the celebrity of amongst us three, right there. Where's the pic, Herman Ray Kelly? There it is, guys. That's the picture they sent.
I'm not seeing it yet. I'm not seeing it
yet. Why are you not seeing it?
Because I don't know. I think you're BSing there. Wait a second. Okay. I got it. Ooh, there's hair.
Yeah. See.
Holy cow, there's hair.
Right.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Those are the same cheeks.
Good looking young man.
Cheeks,
Yeah.
man. Look at that.
You see, Herman was probably one of those that some lady always went up. Oh, the chipmunk cheeks.
Yeah, those got some abuse growing up, didn't they?
No, not really.
Yeah, there you go. All right, you got your celebrity fix for the night. The Big good. Mac goes Lil Hermie. But getting to, I know we're kind of going squirrel here, but getting back to the story, Tom, what do you think is needed to finalize all of this? We've heard people come up with building an infrastructure for drone deliveries. We've heard people trying to defend normal airspace for the consumer / prosumer. What is
the airspace? The airspace is going to get carved up. There's no doubt about it. There's going to be there'll be a commercial zone space for those BVL, beyond visual line of sight flights. There's going to be commercial space, and I believe it'll be above the 400-foot level.
Well,
because drones can easily operate above that level.
This is true,
and I believe there'll probably be a 200-foot corridor that will be established. And again, there'll be vectors, there'll be highways set up for these to transit across. There'll be local access routes to get to those waypoints, but those commercial drones will fly from waypoint to waypoint to waypoint, most likely like manned aircraft do today. And I think the airspace below 400 feet is a lot more difficult to monitor and manage. And so broadcast works in that realm without difficulty. I believe there will be network-based communications happening at a higher commercial grade level. It's just, these things will take time. Like I said,
Well,
The
Herman,
foundational element right now is remote ID. Okay.
Right, but Tom, the thing is with drones and manned aircraft, the thing was always the transitioning of airspace, and they've done a good job of keeping that safe with the transition of airspace and the development of the space in which you can and cannot fly, and they've done well with that, and I think that they may do the same thing. I can't say what they're going to do, but
right?
I
Because
just
we have
figured
to
that
wait and see.
right that they're gonna if it needs to come into contact with the airspace in which that we're flying in, I think it would. And we're talking about so-called highways and stuff. We don't know what that'll be either. But I believe that they're gonna work on that transitioning of airspace, and that is the only thing that really where we come into contact with one another.
Well, think about it. If you have, say, look, all these carriers are going to operate from hubs, right?
Yes,
In all
yes.
likelihood, right?
What's
So what's
building all over
what's
the
gonna
United
happen
States?
is there'll be hubs. There'll be these cylinders of NFZs, in
Right,
all likelihood, or for you European
airspace
people,
where you can't get into.
NFZs. Okay, but these will be those launch and takeoff recovery areas for those commercial carriers.
Now, if you're around
That's
one of
just,
these,
but you have those now. That's manned air. That's
but
manned
Right, you have
airspace
that now with
aviation right
but
now.
airspace. Right, you're right.
Tom,
You have corridors.
you also have to bring up the fact that if you are near one of these hubs, flying for you may be a little troublesome because of
It's just like
transitional
any.
space, because of transitional airspace.
Absolutely,
And you
absolutely.
have to think about
Okay.
that because you have a building that's maybe 5 city blocks long, okay, and they're sending drones in one end and drones are coming out the other. The airspace around these buildings will be limited to people flying. It'll be considered an airport. It will basically be as close.
There'll be transitional ports.
Right,
Okay.
right.
I don't want to call them airports, so to speak,
Oh,
because
yeah,
that would
yeah,
require
yeah.
a level of infrastructure. But I look. First off, we're not getting drone deliveries in Midtown Manhattan. It's not happening.
Yeah, we
Guys.
know
Okay,
that.
so
We know that
you know,
already.
you already get 1 hour Amazon, enough already. Okay. You want 15-minute delivery? Get off your ass and go get it.
Yeah,
But
true.
look,
You already
you
have
know,
same
Guys,
day
I have
right
to
here
run
in the
outside
city.
and check for
same
delivery.
day. Yeah, they have. Please, areas in Manhattan, there's like 1 hour
Oh, we
delivery
have it
areas.
right here in
Please.
Brooklyn, same day.
Yeah, I know. I can get same day over here sometimes. Depends on what I'm looking for.
Right, yeah.
But look, it's we're an instant gratification society now, Urban. So I mean, really, we can't wait. But look,
And then
there'll
you
be,
argue when they're late.
yeah, they're gonna layer things. This isn't an all or nothing. There's still so much development going on. But you know what? I think the development is going to wind up serving both sides of the spectrum, both the unmanned and the manned arenas. Uh, we have to realize that. Think about it. If you put ADSB on drones, the sky would just be too noisy.
You know what? I'd hate to be a
From an
pilot with
interface
that.
standpoint, to see everything going on.
Right.
And the last people we want to distract are manned
Right,
aviation
exactly. I would hate
pilots.
to be a pilot with that happening.
Right. So,
Oh.
the good thing is now all manned aircraft must have operating transponders. So, it makes it brings more semblance of order to the sky, right? Now, with remote ID and UTM, of course we don't all like all the aspects of it, but again, we haven't seen them actually implemented. I think we're still waiting for it, the final publishing, right? So,
Okay, yeah.
And so we still have a moving 60-day window there
Hey, Tom,
for enactment.
really quick. Skipper Drones was saying that he didn't know that they had home drone security systems. So I just did a quick search, and this is more of a spoof
Oh, Ring.
This is an actual drone in a box home security system. But to me, it's more of a joke. So check that out when you get a chance, Skipper Drones, and I'll find a more serious video in a second. But they do have a drone in a box system that once you set up a perimeter around your house, it will launch and go investigate and go take a look. Like I
Big
said, this
aspect.
one is more like a spoof because
Well,
it's
that really
a
cool.
really cheap one, but you get
Yeah,
the
I mean,
idea.
we talked about this like a week ago, right?
Yes.
You know, drones being used for security purposes, for perimeter security, for response to alarms. You know, there's a motion detector that goes off. Drone takes off and goes and checks it out.
And we're not
The same
talking
thing we
about
talked
the
about
little
with the
ring.
military.
We're not talking about the little ring drone
No,
that
I got
takes
what you're
off
saying,
inside
but
your
how-
house and
How
flies
big is
around.
your home that you could use something like that and it's cost effective?
Right. But I just figured I would just give them a video to reference to. This one here seems a little more serious about it, but the first video that I posted, in fact, I'll show you guys. What the hell? We have a little bit of time. Let me just cue it up real quick. Wow. I already erased the box. Let's go here. Give me a few seconds to stall. Drone in a box security. Okay, and I thought it was funny because the way the kid caught it and everything.
Stevie, I thought the same thing when he came back on camera.
What, the Grim Reaper?
No,
What?
you were part of the Dark Force.
Oh,
and you could,
Darth Maul. Maul,
you could raise those drones right off the wall.
Yeah, there we go. But this is I'm trying to get past it to get to, here it is. The drone launches from your backyard and you set up a perimeter, like a path. You can set a perimeter up along. Look how jello-y that camera is. That's why I thought this was a joke, but they're actually trying to sell this system. It doesn't look a whole lot stable, but supposedly he can control it with his phone or tell it to go look somewhere else on his property or whatever. But supposedly at night, if the perimeter is broken, this will launch from the box. Now, what's even funnier is the little capture system that captures the drone. This is just showing what it looks like on your tablet or computer, of course. But look at this little basket. You might as well strain spaghetti in that damn thing. But these are the probes that you set up around your house, etc. And as they pick up motion or whatever, that's pretty much how it works. What happened? We lost Tom. Oh, he's off camera.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I thought you would find that interesting, Skipper Jones, in answer to your question. Hey, Marcel, off Axis, how are you? This banana cream pie is so good. Oh man, I can't. Tom, you're muted. You're muted, Tom.
Gotcha. It was funny. You said you have to have a house big enough to actually have the drone to have some area to fly. Yeah, well, we're in New York City.
Hey, just me up. What's up, brother?
Nothing's big enough here, right?
I don't want it unless
our concept of a spacious apartment is a studio.
Hey, just me up. That would be great.
With its own bathroom.
No, but I'm saying even a New York City home. If you, by the time you got the drone up in the air to surveil the yard and the front yard and on the top of the house, they could be in and out with your stuff. And you just
and they're taking the drone too, okay? So yeah.
Well, like we said, Val's not going on tonight. Roger will be going on afterwards. We did all the drone news. I kind of rushed through it. I thought it was going to go a little longer, but I was actually expecting you, Tom, to talk about your plane a little more, but it was hard to get info on it. They're being kind of secretive.
Well, there's still, he's got a couple of utility patents that are getting finalized also. So, but he's already lined up some contracts, which is nice.
Yeah, see now, the fact that you can send up satellites and have a retrieval system that is a lot more stable than the one they're using now. I mean, SpaceX, the science and technology about their retrieval rockets is spectacular. You know, they send up the booster, it comes back and land. They did a triple shot. They actually had 3 of them go up and come
Yeah.
down and land. All it looks all cool and fine. In fact, let me see if
No,
I can find that
kudos
video.
to them,
But
but
you see what happens when one of them
still a costly
explodes, right?
operation.
But
Still a costly operation. Man.
yes, right. And you see what happens when one of them explodes, right? They
Yeah.
did have a mishap, which shows that people are human. Maybe someone left a screw loose somewhere or whatever. But space, I can't spell, X, retrieval, landing. Yeah, landing. SpaceX. I'm impressed by this. I really, really am. The technology that goes behind this of retrievable rockets is phenomenal. Who we would have never thought. This was one of the very early models, but as you see, you can launch into space. They come down on their own to a, they can land on a ship in the ocean. That's how accurate these things have gotten. So the fact that these things, I'm trying to, you can't speed it up. So I'm gonna get a little closer than that. But they use flaps and air brakes and technology to land these rockets on a dime. Okay. And look at the accuracy of this, the foot of this thing. Now, we've all seen the crash that they've had. Unfortunately, things like that have to happen because maybe there was a glitch or maybe it was software. They will not tell until they finish looking it over. But I just thought
You
it
know,
would.
Virgin Atlantic is already doing this. Has already launched satellites into space from an aircraft, but you're talking about a significant
Guys, we
aircraft.
just
We're
got a
talking.
delivery and I
I
have to
think it's
run.
a
I have to run outside.
747. Yeah, go ahead.
It's man.
So yeah, they Virgin has Virgin Airlines has well, Virgin Enterprises actually has launched satellites into space via I believe a 747 aircraft was utilized.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be wrong about the model, Boeing model. But that's a costly operation, man. That's a lot of fuel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the aircraft that we were talking about before, it supposedly runs on airplane fuel, but it's not it doesn't have a manned system. It's that's why they were
Well, the
saying.
good thing is that it runs on aircraft fuel because that makes it a lot more amenable to commercial airports, right?
Exactly. And the fact that it can take off on short runways, meaning that it can take off on a lot of different.
Well, you can use smaller,
right,
smaller airports. Absolutely. The things like figure using smaller airports where you don't have the congestion from the big class Bs.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Again, makes it a lot easier to service your customer.
Correct. Yeah.
Hey, drone shots. Sorry about that. If you want to know how we knew we had a delivery, Alexa lets you know. She gives off a chime and turns yellow. Now, when I went outside, I heard the dogs barking upstairs, which is usually a sign someone comes in the gate. But I heard the dogs barking, and I went out the first time, and I saw a car up the block. And if our number isn't lit too well in the house, I guess dude must have walked back. And of course, as soon as I came in and got comfortable, he decided to deliver and scan it. But it is officially snowing outside.
Virgin Galactic. I stand corrected, Welsh Rob. Yeah.
And it will be snowing in New York supposedly from tonight all the way into Tuesday.
Yeah.
I highly suggest if you don't have to go out in that stuff, don't. I mean, Corona has everything shut down anyway. You think about it, pretty much.
Yeah, stay off the roads if you don't have to be there, please.
No public
Others
service
have to,
announcements,
so.
no birthdays, nothing coming up for anyone.
Not that I know of. I just got to go out and get some vegetables and some, stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, catch your breath first. You know what, Big Matt? Even though I am recovered from COVID, I still suffer. Yeah, you hear me huffing and puffing.
That's the scariest part of COVID is post-COVID syndrome. So be very careful.
Yeah, in
Okay.
fact, I'm trying my best. Just because I had it, I'm not thinking I can't catch it again. First of all, I
Right.
was lucky to begin with having a respiratory issue, and it scared the hell out of me because they say most people with pre-existing respiratory issues don't get through it. So that's not necessarily
Yeah.
true, but it's
I've
mostly true.
already, yeah.
It
I've
is
already
mostly true.
experienced.
I'm one of the few, and I was joking with my doctor. And I told my doctor, I says, my body probably doesn't know it's COVID. I've been struggling to breathe before COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He says it's not funny, but I just happen to be
People,
one of the lucky ones.
new thing you have to have in your
knock
house
wood.
these days, a pulse oximeter.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah.
It's so funny. You told me to get one, and we ordered one, and they gave me one when I went to the COVID hotel.
Yeah.
I was like, here. She was like, I don't want it. You've had it all week. It's yours. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. I put it in my
Yeah.
pocket and left with it.
Yeah.
But it's 6:21. We're going to get out of here in about
8 to 12
minutes.
inches, wind gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour.
Yes.
Lizard-like and whiteout-like conditions.
Listen,
Stevie,
if you
let me
don't
know how
have
you
to
make
go
out in
out
that,
there,
baby.
if you don't have to go out there, don't. But if you have to, you're an essential worker like Tom or some
I
of
ain't going out there. No, there are essential. Look, frontline first responders. God bless you. They're out
Charles
there.
said, F
I'm
that.
not out
I ain't
there
going
anymore.
out there.
I'm not out there anymore, man. Okay.
Oh, okay, good. Good.
I'm not. No. I'm back office, dude. I'm an old
You
fuck.
said, Tom, I paid my dues.
Yeah, no, dude. That's a young person's game. That's a young person's
I
game.
appreciated Global Drones. I'm glad too, because if Herman was one of the few people that I was keeping in touch with, and it was like he would call,
Absolutely,
we would talk
Grant.
for a while, and I'm like, yo, I got to go lay down. I got to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It was hard, but knock wood, I came through it. I'm just not taking it for granted because I had it that I can't catch it again.
Look, I got my first shot, waiting for the second shot. I figure there's going to be a booster. Right. There's going to be a booster on a regular basis. It is what it is, man. It's, this is the war we have to wage right now. I mean, it is a war. You got to be safe. You got to think about.
Oh, Matt's others. Off this weekend till Tuesday.
Think about.
So that's what's up, Matt.
Good. That's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Because he goes from Brooklyn all the way to the Bronx, man. I'm like,
yeah.
Hey, Matt, that little 4-wheel ATV board you have ain't riding in this stuff. So I'm glad you're
Don't challenge, Matt.
Get the snow tires, Matt.
Don't throw down
put some
gauntlet.
chains on that heifer.
That's right.
Little mini chains on the wheel.
Hey, you know what? I got an ad on Facebook for tire chains for my e-bike. Okay, please.
Are you serious?
I'm serious, dude. They make them. Okay, for fat tire bikes, they make slip-on snow chains. It's okay.
Roger says they're still in a curfew. No one's allowed on the road. Well, let's see. Big Matt says no go. Well, all I know is if I don't have to go out, I'm not. And being that it's going to snow for the next few days, my only concern is making sure it doesn't ice up on the bottom. So as long as I put down a little bit of salt, and plus I live down in a basement, so you don't want to fall on concrete stairs.
No, you want to also, you're going to have to do this in a couple of swings, bro, because it's first off, if you wait for it to finally all come down, it's going to be too much to move. With drifts and all. So, I'm thinking the same thing. I got snow blowing in the back. My next door neighbor is a snowbird, so he's down in Florida. And it's me. So with a shared driveway.
Well,
I
my
gotta open
neighbor
up.
was out there revving his up today, and he's like,
I kicked it over.
you know,
It kicked over.
yeah.
But
But
again, you know, the thing is, look, dude, I had a quadruple bypass in 2017.
it's true,
I
Brad
don't
Ariel.
care.
4-wheel drive does not stop any faster.
No, I don't care. Standing behind a snowblower doesn't make it easy
Any,
enough that you don't
any,
have to worry.
any easier,
Okay.
right? I
Yeah.
understand.
You know,
I
so be
understand.
really, really careful out there. It's my very first, you know, horror story. My very first cardiac arrest I rolled up on was a 51-year-old guy shoveling snow in front of his house. Okay. When I came back to New York City to work. So
Well, to be honest,
it's too easy, man. Too
I don't
easy.
have, to be honest, I don't have the lung capacity. You saw, I
Yeah.
just went from here to
Yeah.
the door, which is about
Mhm.
15 steps, then up about 6 steps, around to the front of the house, maybe a total of 30 steps that way and back. And I was huffing and puffing. So my lung, and keep in mind, I'm just now going on my first week without pneumonia. So my lungs are still pretty
Yeah.
raw,
No, you
scarred, you
can't
know.
take no chances. Especially that cold air, man. That cold air will do you in, you know.
Yeah. So
So
listen,
the look, I'd pay somebody $20 an hour to operate my snowblower for me if they do it. But the problem is you get people to come by that go, you know, oh, do your driveway in the front of your house. Yeah, how much? 200, that's the going rate. I'm like,
yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
not my
You're
going rate,
bugging.
dude.
You're bugging.
Okay.
And
Good
you know
try.
what? Kids are
Good
lazy
try.
today, Tom. You go out, it used to be a time if you stood in front of your house or by your car with a shovel, a kid or somebody would come up and want a shovel. And excuse me, there's a young man that lives across the street, and I told him, I said, there's 1, 2, 3 houses with elderly people. Every
Yeah.
time it
Yeah.
snows, why don't you go over there and ask them, can you shovel? I'm sure they will pay you a decent amount of money. He did
See,
it
once I
one
get,
year.
yeah,
For the
that's the
following
way to
year,
do
he
it.
was like, I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah. See, what I do is when I come down the driveway, I make my first center pass down the driveway. You know, it's a shed between two houses. And
Okay.
I come out onto the sidewalk. I do the whole sidewalk from street to street.
Yeah.
You know, I make that 1 or 2 pass because really what I'm standing behind it. That's what I'm doing.
Not
Yeah,
yet, Ray
wrestle it
Kelly.
around.
One day.
But
One day.
you know, you just hope your neighbors do the same for you when you can't get out there. That's all.
Yeah, this is true. This is very,
You
very
hope.
true.
They would die if that happened.
Well, listen, we appreciate you guys at 6:27. We're gonna get out of here 3 minutes early. All the drone news is over. It's snowing outside. Go look out the window. Go make dinner.
3 minutes.
Fly safe. I used
Be
to say
careful out
be
there,
safe,
Stevie.
fly safer.
We won our 3 minutes.
Remember, Stevie, there's no windshield wiper on that that bad boy. Okay,
Yeah, this is true.
fly with the wind, baby.
Yeah,
Fly
as
with the
long as he's got
wind.
his back to the snow,
Fly
with
with
the
the
snow
wind.
drifting, if it's even going sideways, you can kind of angle your camera so
But
that
what is he flying in the snow? Because I mean, I've flown the Phantom.
he's not
Snow is
taking
not
his
a
Phantom
problem.
Pro out there.
I did it.
That poor little Mavic Air too.
The only problem with the Phantom 4 is you lose it in the snow. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
We don't got to fly.
better off with the Mavic.
Until you see little green or red lights in the
He's
snow
got a
like
couple.
this.
He's got a
I
couple
did
of
it in the
choices.
snow.
We'll see
Justin's
soon.
done it 101 times.
Yeah.
We know Anthony's going to have the Mavic 2 Pro up. So
Oh yeah, he's out there now.
Yeah.
I get bet.
Yeah.
He's out there
Yeah.
now counting the snow.
he prayed to the snow gods.
Yeah, he wanted.
Man,
snow.
I gotta move to Vegas. That's it.
Everyone was teasing
So,
him. Yo,
I'm
no
out.
Thank
snow
you,
this
Ray.
winter.
Thank you, Ray.
Listen, you guys have a great evening. We appreciate you all. We appreciate you coming back. Roger's coming on, I believe, in a half hour at 7. That's usually when Val starts. Canadian Drone Hub. Paul Murray, I think he still does his live stream at 5 on Mondays. Don't forget to check out Herman on Wednesday nights with those guys, and maybe he'll show you that younger picture again.
No,
We'll see what's happening with that. I'm instigating. FYI. But Sunday nights with those guys is sponsored by
Those
those guys.
guys.
And we appreciate you much.
I'll see
Be
you guys
safe.
on Wednesday.
Stay
Be
safe,
safe,
guys.
fly safer. You guys have a great evening. Thanks again for the support. Good night.
Good night.
All the best.
All right, end stream.